And I have hit
Yes, sir. We are able to record. I am able to record.
I have hit the record button now, and you can share your screen, Srikanth.
Okay.
So today we will be starting with a new info type 585.
Yeah, I think any access for share the screens.
Okay, just a minute. I allow you to record.
Yeah.
You're able to share. Okay, just a minute, Srikanth.
Yes, it's
I
still
made you host now. Yes,
okay.
I made you host now. You can now share.
Okay. Yes, I'm there. Yeah. Done.
Now go to the same. Once you, I still it is opening. Go to PA30 and go to the same employee, which we are continuing. So after logging in, go to PA30 and go to the same employee and start opening 585.
Okay. Okay. It's very slow, sir, for the reason of the internet issue.
From here also.
I'm using my mobile data right now.
Oh, is it? I'm also facing the same problem. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. If possible, can we do with Lakshmi's?
Yes, no problem. So Lakshmi, you are having good bandwidth, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, you can share them.
Yes, she has a good bandwidth.
Okay. PA30 and go to the same employee which you were trying earlier. Yeah, so 585.
5.
So till yes, sorry, 585, not 80. 585. Yeah. Go to create. So what does it 585 says it's all about? So you can see it is all about creating a section 80 deductions. Okay. So in a typical Indian payroll scenario, you will be having coming across this section 80 deductions in the payroll. Okay. So every employee for working for an organization, so for eligible for tax, so all these things. So they will be contributing to this. Okay. So there you can see in this info type, you will be having two major column which are editable here. Okay. Which are those? You can see proposed, there is something of prop dot contribution and is actual dot contribution. So proposed contribution and another is actual contribution. So proposed contribution at the beginning of the financial year. Okay. So HR generally ask what is your proposed what are the, from a tax exemption point of view, what is the proposed which you can declare. Okay. Generally these things will be coming from your employee self-service portal. Okay. And from there it gets updated. Okay, so how it will happen from the employee self-service that I'll be talking about whenever I'll be having a discussing the ESS side of the payroll. Okay, data I will cover, but ultimately the data will be go and sit here. Okay, in the proposed, suppose you can scroll it down. There are 24 line items here. Okay, but there can be more also in the recent one. Okay, so you can see there are many things here. Okay. So these are the different categories of contributions under section 80 deductions. Okay. So like you can see contribution to donation to cry, donate preventive health checkup, medical insurance premium. Okay. So contribution to certain pension funds. So these are different contribution types which comes under section 80 deductions. Okay. And for all of these contributions, we have, there is a limit. Okay. So you can contribute up to that limit only. Okay, if you're contributing more than that, then it will not be considered anything means for your tax exemption or thing that. And did you get understand what is the limit of this? Means up to that limit only you can contribute. You got the point?
Limitations, these ones.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
yes. So
got
these limits are actually what happens. So for all of this kind of investment, okay. So you have a specific limit. It is set by the government. Okay, you can have up to that only, and that is the meaning of the limit. Okay, and another column there is something called tax exemption. So how much tax will be exempted for under that category? Okay, so we have 100% in some under some category. If you scroll a bit down, you can see there are other things also, which is less than 100% exempted. So there must be something, yeah. So you can see donation to CRY. So donation, since CRY is an organization, so it's an NGO, so fund. Okay, so you are contributing to that, then you will be your 50% will be exempted. Okay, and for these donations we do not have any limit. Okay, so for that reason you can see the 99999 big figure is there. Okay, so for this kind of thing we do not have a specific limit. Okay, so you can limit, you can have anything. Okay, and under that you have a specific tax exemption, 50% or 100% or zero, there are certain things also. Okay, and also you can see there is something called deduction in respect to of rent paid. You might be wondering why this is here, uh, uh, 24,000 limit, right? So in case your organization, in some of the organization, they are, if they are not following HRA, and the HRA exemption is not given, then you can declare it under this. Okay, deduction in respect of rent paid. Okay, so this is the criteria. And also there is a scheme called Rajiv Gandhi Equity Savings Scheme, and under this also the tax exemption is 50%.
50%.
So why this is, suppose if you're contributing, the limit is 50,000 and you have contributed say 40,000, then out of 40,000 and 20,000 will be tax exempted. Okay, that is the meaning of a exemption. So you can try that as well. So so in this way, this is a concept. Okay, and other than that, proposed contribution, suppose it is not necessary for an employee to contribute for each and everything. Suppose I am contributing only for medical insurance, medical insurance premium. Okay. Again, there are two categories. Medical insurance premium, one is a non-senior citizen and the senior citizen. Okay. So preventive health checkup. Okay. So this proposed contribution, you have to contribute it. And towards the year end, okay, so you have to produce bills, okay, wherever you have, or you have to produce a proof that you have contributed those things. Okay. Then what will happen, your, and in the actual contribution column, what you have to do in the actual contribution column, basically, again, generally in the practice, if you have seen, in the month of December to January, the HR will be telling all the employees it is a time for the year end, and you'll be getting an email from HR saying now it is time to submit your actual contribution. Okay, so what the proof of all those evidence or proof of those contribution you have to produce. And in those cases, what will happen? And there will be setting a deadline depending upon the organization size and employee head count. So they will be setting up a date like the last date is 15th of January or 31st of January. There is no hard and fast rule. Okay, so depending upon the organization, they will be setting that timeline, and within that period the actual contribution, the employees, they will be saying that yes, actually we have contributed this much amount, and finally in the ESS, the employee self-service, they will be updating that. Otherwise, if it is small organization, if the HR wants, if the employees are not having ESS and they are doing offline, then the HR administrator or the payroll officer, they have to come here and they will be updating this actual contribution. They will not be doing one by one. So there is something called the data, means data migration tools are available. Okay, so like LSMW or BDC. So using that, you can in a group, you can run that program, and automatically this will be also there are programs which I'll be talking to about it later on. Okay, so you can contribute to this actual means update this field. Then also there is a program to update this in the tick, there is a tick box. Okay, so you can see that consider actual contributions for exemptions. Okay, that must be ticked. Okay, so then only your tax exemption will be calculated. Okay, and with that I will call out one thing here, the record here. So here in the record, you will be seeing the from date and to date. Actually, the investments are valid for the entire financial year only. There is no end date. You can see there is no 31/12/999. Did you observe that, both of you, Srikant and Lakshmi? Hello.
Yes.
Yes. So you can't change it, right? This is not editable. Did you observe that? On other cases, it was
Yes,
editable,
sir.
but here
Final.
one typical thing you will be observing, you can't edit the from and end date. Okay. So this investment, whatever the investment you are doing as an employee, it is valid for the entire financial year. For in this example, the financial year 2020-21. Okay. So for it is valid for whatever the investment you are declaring here, it will be valid for the entire full financial year, and system will be giving the start date and end date, okay, of the current financial by default. Okay, you can't change it.
Okay.
So that is the call out here. You have to remember. And similarly, as I have explained, as per the law, employees declare this certain amount in the as a contribution, and what you can do, Lakshmi, now you in the proposed contribution you can choose any of this. Okay, enter some amount. It should be less than the limit only, or it can be equal. Okay, so no problem. And you can scroll down some random figure you can put it. And similarly, what you can do while running the your actual contribution, now you'll not be able to. So whatever you have contributed now in the proposed contribution, accordingly your tax will be calculated. And finally, in the month of March or February, March, depending upon your actual, again there will be recalculation if there is any difference. Okay. So now what you can do, you can save it. Only proposed you can do that. Okay. So you can save it, click save. Okay, I think it's got disconnected. You can log in again. You can run simulation for this employee. Okay, now you can search for /3I1. No, /3I1. 3I1. Okay, so you just click that, the deduction under section 80, which I was talking about. Double click on that. And you can see also the entire series 302, 303. So here actually this is the calculations inside how it is calculated. Okay, so to understand the amount, you can go back and go to the output table. Okay. Click go back and click expand that output.
Do we have any waste step in this?
Sorry?
do we have any waste type in this 585?
No. Actually, you do not have
We need to create any waste type.
You do not have to create any waste types here. Okay. These are all predefined divisions, and SAP will be generating those things under one thing only, whatever the amount you're putting here. Okay. So you do not have to create it again. So click no and click that output. Expand that output.
As
below 4012, there is a plus expansion button for output. Click that output. No. Plus button, there is a expansion button. Yeah. Click that output and click that IT in table. And you search for PYIN. You can see the 3I1 / 3I1, 9,000 amount is coming, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now also I can see, I think you have yesterday created this.
Yes, sir.
302, 303, 304, all things you have created, right? And all these things are actually appearing here. Okay, you can see that. Long-term capital gain, income from other sources. 584 also I can see here in the same thing. Okay. Okay, so now it is showing deduction under section 80 is 9,000. Okay, so the task for you is like you just keep on adding other amount. Okay, and observe this class 3I1 whether it is changing or not. Okay, so that is a task for both of you. You can try that. Okay. So, any questions before we proceed for the configuration part?
So there is no waste type. It's a predefined.
No. There is no configuration is required because these are all predefined. Okay, you do not have to create any waste types for this purpose. Okay, it is easy relatively.
Do we need to do? Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Do we need to do any settings like 5? Do we need to do any settings like a car and conveyance in
SPRO, like throw SPRO?
Yes, I will come to that. That configuration part I will be discussing.
Yes.
So now you can go to SM30. I'll be going to decide.
Because yeah. Why I'm particularly asking, I didn't seen about 584 actually in SPRO. We are not find in any path in that.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, these things will be directly derived. SAP will be providing because these are all statutory things, right? So mostly these things will be provided by SAP.
Oh yes, sir.
Okay. So we do not have a control on this. Okay. So like SAP will be giving everything. Okay. You do not have to worry about it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So if you expand Indian payroll and you will not be finding specific for this. Okay. Like other statutories are there, tax exemptions, those are there, but specific configuration you will not be finding. Okay, and whenever there is any law changes, okay, SAP releases the note. Okay, according to government, they will follow the government standard, whatever the tax statutory changes, they follow those standard, and they will be releasing the note, and accordingly you have to follow those manual instructions. Okay. And after following that, you have to, everything will be taken care of. Okay, so that is the idea. Shall we proceed further?
Okay, sir.
Any questions? Other questions? Yeah, thanks for putting that questions. Okay, so I knowingly that I have told you to check if there is any configurations, and thanks for coming back that you couldn't find anything, and that is a valid one. Yeah, so we do not have such kind of configuration the way we have.
Thank you, sir.
Car and conveyance and HRA, we have extensive configurations, but for this, most of the things are taken care by SAP. But still, we will be checking from a configuration point of where exactly those things are maintained. Okay, so what you can do, you can go for SM30 now. Go to SM30. And in the chart window, I will be talking about, I'll be just typing out a couple of tables, which generally we do not have to change it. But whenever it comes to statutory changes, SAP will be telling us that we have to update those tables and periodically, means basically before the final calculations. Okay. So the table you can go for, that is V_T7 INI 8. INI 8. Just go to that table.
Maintain or display?
You can display. Maintain, generally these are all mostly these are acceptable. Okay, so this is the field list of values. So all the 29s are you are seeing. I will explain here what are these things. So in the 29 things, just to scroll a bit down, I think all of these things are not visible in your 584, sorry, 585. Okay, so you can see, scroll a bit towards the right hand side if anything is there. I don't think. Okay, so here, so now go to top again. So here you can see there is something called subsection, there is something called division and division description. There is a ESS, there is an ESS flag as well. So why this ESS flag is important? Okay, just so you, whatever the things you are actually applicable and people are contributing, so those things you can showcase to the employee so that it will be visible in the employees and self-service. Okay, in that portal it will be visible. Okay, other than that, so this subsection division, if there is anything new is coming up, okay, so SAP will be telling us that this year, this financial year, government has introduced additional thing. Okay, so like Sukanya Samriddhi scheme or something like 1 year or 2 year back, I remember there is a new scheme came up by the government. Okay, at that point of time, I had to introduce that division in this table. Okay, so that is as simple as that, nothing much. Just we have to listen to the SAP.
I have a question, sir. I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I saw somewhere so many ways. Like what is flag? Always it's a flag tick showing flag tick. I read somewhere so many times like your flag is ticked and
yes,
like that. What is that flag is
I will explain
how it will appear in my screen. Okay.
Yes. So whenever I'm talking about a flag, yes, a flag means it is an identifier. Okay, so for the system, actually it is telling this contribution or this particular division, actually this is also can be seen in your employee self-service. Okay, so otherwise you can also put an F1 help there. That will explain you there, but actually SAP says click any of this flag and put an F1 help. If there is anything documentation, SAP will clearly tell that. Okay. Flag for to make involuntary options invisible for ESS screen. Okay. So here, what SAP is saying, okay. So this ESS flag, okay. It is saying to make in INV options invisible for ESS. Invisible for ESS screen. So that
understood, sir.
Yeah. You got it right?
Yes.
What SAP is trying to say?
Yes, I got it. Actually, yeah, I study so many times. Actually, I read so many times. So that's why I'm asking you. Okay, I cleared right now.
So this ESS flag actually depends. So whether you like to showcase or to show or not. Okay. If you want to hide some divisions in the employee self-service, you tick this. I think I wrongly told the opposite one. Okay, it is opposite one. Okay. So thing
you
is,
have to tick that option.
Yes, yes. So
first,
if you want to,
first I am also understand like you, sir. Actually,
yes,
I am also
sorry. Actually, I
you.
got confused. So sorry
about invisible.
No, before yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So generally, I have never done it. Means I never ticked it. Okay. In my typical project, so whatever is available, everything was visible to the employee. And if you're ticking this, okay, so it is just opposite of that. Okay, so if you want to hide some divisions,
it's not display. Okay.
If you do not want to display, you have to tick it. Okay, so this is the concept.
We are controlling that.
Exactly.
We are controlling their display.
Yes. So if you want to hide some divisions in the employee self-service, you have to tick those specific ESS flag. That is all about it. Okay. Now you can just close it because we do not have an integrated employee self-service. I will not be able to show that. Okay, but that is the idea. You got my point?
Yes.
Yeah. Now just go back again. Now instead of INI 8, go just replace 8 with 7. So here we talked about subsection division. Now I will be talking about subsection limits. Okay. So INI 7. Yes. So this table is also maintained by SAP. Okay. We do not have to enter anything. So here, in case any limit is changed over a period of time, that we have to update here. Okay. So these are the different subsection limits are here written for this year to that year. Okay. So simply, if in case of any changes is required, SAP will tell us that from this year onwards, so you have to change this one. Okay. So then
Every year
according,
change.
if any case of any changes is required, you have to come here and you have to change it here only. Okay. So that is the thing, subsection limit. Okay. Now you can go back. So these are very straightforward, nothing difficult. Okay. Now we will go to another table, INI 5. So here, this is actually all about the sections, the 20 sections which we have seen earlier in the T7 INI 8 table. So those related subsections are actually mentioned here. Again, we do not have to change much, but if you can remember something like some of the top popular ones are ATCCD. You can see there is yeah, so this one actually the day before I contributed. So for that reason, I can remember, I always remember this one actually for NPS, National Pension Scheme. There is something of 50,000 you can contribute, and for that contribution to pension scheme of central government. Okay, and over and above normal pension scheme, and if you are contributing from employer side, you can contribute your own as well. Okay, so then that will be coming under 80 CCD. Okay, and 80G also we have similarly for medical insurance. This is called 80D. Okay, so few of these things actually you can remember. Okay, just for your knowledge. Okay, and but one common thing you will be seeing, all these are starting with 80. So for that reason, it is called your section 80 deductions.
80
80, 80 section 80 deductions. Okay, so for that reason. Yes. So now we will be going to another one. Now go to INI 9 now. So here also, here we can see that is an additional column here, tax exemptions. Okay. So inside a particular subsection of section 80, there can be multiple provision for deductions. Okay. So like we have here division, subdivision again. Okay. So in case if you like to change anything, again, we do not change it at our own will. SAP will be tell us depending upon that particular years, if the government has changed anything, then only you have to come here, and this will be maintained. Is generally it's maintained by SAP. So this exemption limit also, if you are in case of it changes, this is the place only where exactly you can change it here. Okay, so this is as simple as that. Now yeah, so you can now go back again. I will tell you special case. Now here INIC. So for specific any kind of third party deductions, okay, now you scroll a bit right hand side. There is an exception here. In some cases, there is a mention of a wage type. Not for, it is not applicable for everything. Okay. In case contribution to certain pension fund. Okay. So what will happen in case if you are contributing a pension fund? Okay. So in those cases, you will be having certain wage type. Only some special cases. So in general, we do not have to create anything, the wage types, but in some special cases, and if you are having the third party deduction is happening to the some other info types, say info type 57. There is info type 50. Any guess what is the info type 57? It is a membership fees. Okay, there is an info type called 57, which is membership fees. If the third party deduction is happening, if you are making through info type 57, okay, along with your present or your past payments, okay, So then
membership fees.
membership
57.
fees. Yes. The info type 57 is there. In case if you're going through that path, okay. So in those cases, those projected payments also will be calculated for your this purpose. Okay. And generally, I have not seen those cases, but in case your organization is following that criteria, those schemes, okay, then only you have to go for this. Okay. Otherwise, you do not have to enter anything. Okay. So the idea is if you are having some kind of deduction waste type, in those cases, you can maintain. So this option is available. Okay. So this is the thing. Okay. So any questions before we move on?
From my side, I have no questions.
You understood, right? What are the typical tables and also the generation of the important one is
Yes.
/3i1, 3/3i1. If it is generated, then your 80 section 80 deduction is working fine. Okay, so that is the idea. So now we will go to PE03, PE04. PE04. So again, we have three functions here, P0585, P0. I'll just enter in the chart window, P0585. It is very similar yesterday that we have seen. You have to check input
Documentation
parameter. Okay, so this one I'll be giving a task for you. Okay, you can check that. No need to go for detail, Lakshmi. So you can explore that. There is nothing different. Okay, so P0585, the input will be P0585 and output will be SAP. Okay, and similarly, we have another function INTPD. Okay, INTPD. Okay, so this is another functions which you can remember for this. Okay.
Is it third-party deductions?
Exactly. So for all kind of third-party deduction, actually, so
Okay.
SAP will be, this function is also an important function regarding this info type, section 80 deductions, okay, which I will recommend to go through in detail, okay. And in case if any doubt, you will be asking to me, okay. And there is another function called INS80, okay, IN, which stands for section 80, okay. So INS80, yeah. So what it will do, it will take input table and SAT data, and depending from the INTPD function, okay, and from that it will generate those /3i1, okay, that is your table, okay. So these three functions are very important for section 80 deductions, okay. With this understanding, we have completed this section 80 deduction, which is basically your info type 585. Okay, any questions? So this is a task I have given to you, but it is very similar the way we have seen yesterday. I will recommend to go through the documentation of these three functions, try to understand. If any questions, you can ask me in the next session. And I also check the input parameter and the output parameter, as well as where used list. The outward arrow is there, right? Where used list means that function where exactly it has been used. Okay, what is the location of inside the schema? Okay, where exactly the function is located. Okay? That you can identify from the list. Okay, so this is a task. Okay, so these three things you can see. Now we will be meeting it again after. So this is now it's going to expire. Session